What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Fishing from Scratch. It's been a rough week up here in the mountains. The big old storm Fred came through, and it really hit us. It really hit us hard. A lot of folks got stuff that they weren't prepared to deal with. We got somewhere between 7 to 10 inches of rain, from what I've heard. I don't know if that's actually true or not, but that's what I've heard. But what I've seen is, man, people lost their driveways. Some people lost their homes. It has been just a really rough, long week for a lot of us mountain folk up here. And the good thing is, the community up here is strong and we work together. And for all the damage that I've seen twice as many people out just helping get things straightened back up, building driveways, putting in new drain pipes that got washed out, replacing bridges. It's been amazing to see how fast things got done up here after this big storm that came through. It wasn't on the news. It didn't make the news. It was pretty close to a natural disaster. A lot of folks didn't make it through this storm. I've heard various numbers. I don't know what's actually true, but I do know that people lost their lives in the storm, and it was that bad. So I just wanted to kind of put it out there that when things happen that doesn't make your Twitter feed, and doesn't make the national news, it doesn't get all the attention. So just be aware, and kind of we need to be able to rely on each other when things like this happen, because each other's what we got. You're not always going to have that big handout from the federal government or whatever to bail you out of natural disasters or whatnot like this. You got to rely on each other in your community. So you got to kind of work together. You don't always have to agree. You don't always have to be friends. But when push comes to shove, you got to stand up for your community and work together. And that's what I've seen a lot of up here, man. I've seen people working their hind ends off out, fixing people's bridges and pouring gravel and putting in drain pipes. It's seen that all week. Even me, a prime example. My driveway got destroyed. I was trapped up at the house for a couple days. Other than I was able to get out in my old chipbox Toyota pickup. That thing looks like a billy goat. It'll go wherever it wants to go. But I couldn't get my work truck out. I couldn't get my regular Honda out. Didn't know what I was going to do, because we just spent a bunch of money on the driveway a few years ago, and it got absolutely decimated. But luckily, I've got good neighbors. And one of my neighbors brought his tractor up there, and in absolute no time, he had that thing straightened back up well enough that I could get out and function again. So I don't know if my neighbor will ever watch this, but if you do, Pete, man, I really appreciate you. But anyways, on from that stuff, let's get to what we're going to do today. Obviously, with all this rain and everything, it's changed things. This river, probably where I'm sitting right now, looking up at the water line up on the bank level, I would say it was probably, 6 or 8 feet over my head from where I'm sitting right here. It was way up that bank, almost to the road, it looks like. So what does that do to the river? Well, that changes everything in these rivers. All that structure, all that stuff we talked about last video that you look for, the big rocks and structure, the trees and laydowns and the undercuts of the bank, all that stuff, everything changes. Entire swaths of river will change completely. Whereas you were going and fishing a nice big deep hole with a big old rock in it, you might go back now and it'd be 6 inches deep and sandy. So I'm on one of my favorite rivers. The water level's up. It's got a little color to it, which is a good thing. And I want to get up here and just see what the damage was, because I haven't been up here yet. And I want to see what the river looks like. See what kind of new spots I've got available to me. Another thing on top of all this, when you get a bunch of rain like this in these mountains, and it does this to these rivers, once it starts clearing back up, that water temperature's down, that water clarity is not as clear. it's washed in all kinds of new forage for them fish to eat, and those big old fish, they get active. So I want to get out here today. I'm going to be throwing just a regular old, this is a Berkeley hit stick jerk bait today, a little suspended one so we get a little further down the water column. But I have a sneaking suspicion that we're going to catch some smallmouth, and we might just be able to get on one of those big old trout that I've been seeing in here, if we can find it, because there's no telling, it might be 3 counties down by now, but we'll go see if we can track one down anyway. So come along, let's go see what the old Fred did to this river, and let's see if we can't make something out of it. I'm going to start today. I'm just throwing the moonshine rod with a Berkeley hit stick. It's a suspending jerk bait. I want to try to get down a little further in the water column. These bright colors, aren't worth a crap on the real clear days, but when the water colors like this, it tends to do pretty good. I've had good luck with this bait, so we'll see if we can't snag one of these big monsters that I've seen this summer in this spot. Extra slippery today. Whoop, come back. Goodness. I don't want hooks in my hand. Come on, buddy, cooperate and I'll get you off this hook. Here we go. Shoot right in there too, man. There we go. Well, that's a good start. Very first cast. Nice little smallmouth. That was fun right off the bat. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. A lot of times if I catch a fish on the very first cast, it's a big skunk fest after that. But that's pretty good, man. Let's see if we can't get another one. Well, here's a good tell of how high the water actually got. This little road runs down next to the river, and we've got debris all the way up here at the road, and the river is way down there. Man, that's 25 yards up. It must have been, because this right here where I'm walking would have been underwater by, we'll see how high that litter is right there, and I'm way over here. Man, that was one hell of a storm. That was a bunch of water come through. And wow, this spot's changed a good bit. Well, this was way more shallow than this last time I was here. It has washed tons and tons of sand and gravel downstream and opened this big spot back up majorly. This is crazy. Look at all that down through there where it washed. All that was underwater just a couple of days ago, and it's receded back a bunch. Well, let's get down here and make a couple casts, see if we can't find us a big old trout or something. There we go. There's lunch. Nice little brook trout. Gorgeous little fish. Man, them some good eating right there. That one's going to the house with me. Come back here, buddy. You ain't going nowhere. Where you going? Nowhere. That's right. Well, y'all, I'm pretty much out of time for today fishing. I only had an hour really to be able to get out and go do. I've got plenty of stuff to do at the house, you know, clean up and all that kind of stuff from the devastating storm that came through. I got plenty of stuff to be doing, but I wanted to get out today and make a little video, make a couple casts and see if we could catch anything. We did, caught a couple fish. One thing I do want to do before we go today is I'm going to give a little tutorial. We're going to do how to properly clean a trout 101. So hang tight. I do want to say, if you are squeamish at all, or one of those people that doesn't think we should be eating meat, or any number of things that make you a soft person, you don't want to watch this last part of this video, because it's going to get a little messy. But for the rest of us normal folk that understand where meat comes from and how to actually, you know, do things properly, well, hang tight, because I'm going to show you how to clean a trout. Warning: if you are offended by blood and gore, if you are softer than a pillow, if you eat only plants, if you are offended by slasher flicks, don't watch this scene, because it's about to get messy. No, it's really not. It's not that big of a deal. But I know a lot of people, some people are squeamish to this kind of thing, so I did want to give you a little fair warning. But we're going to clean this trout up. I'm going to show you the Cousin Tim way of doing it. This is how he taught me how to do it, and it works very well for cleaning these fish that we catch up here, these trout. So it's a pretty simple thing to do. I'll usually just thumb the gill plate like that, just so I can get a good grip on the fish. I'm just using a regular pocket knife today. You're going to go up the poop chute here. You're going to take your knife, you're going to go straight up, and you're going to slice from the butthole all the way up. Let's see here. Need to sharpen my knife. Here we go. All the way up to essentially pretty much the base where the gills meet, right around in there, and you're going to stop. You're not going to go up any further than that. Well, maybe just a fuzz further, but there we go. Then you're going to take your knife, and you're going to run it in through the bottom and out the other side, like so, and pull up. Take your fingers, grab a hold of the trout's bottom jaw, take my finger here, work it in, like so, right in there, and pull down to separate the bottom of the gill plate on that side. Same thing on the other side. I'm going to separate the bottom of the gill plate on the other side. And here is the fun part. Instead of having to pull all the nastiness out of there, you grab a hold at the back of the throat, the gills and all that stuff, and you pull down, and it separates from the top, and you can pull all of the offal right out of the fish and the bottom fins right off. Everything comes out in one nice little neat pile. Ooh, that fish has got a few eggs in it. From there, all that's really left to do is get up in the cavity of the fish, slice at the membrane that runs along the spine, and I'll just take my thumb and push out all that stuff that's up in there, all that black gunk. Just kind of break it loose with my thumb, and then take it down the water and wash it off. And there you go. That is a properly cleaned trout. You know, you just take it to the house, finish washing it up in the sink, and get that thing in the frying pan. Pretty simple thing. Well, that's my video for the day, guys. I've got other stuff to do today that's a little more important than fishing. I've got a lot of work to do at the house and clean up and stuff like that, and just get ready for the coming work week. It was a good day, man. Beautiful day. Water's perfect. Temperature's perfect, man. This is why you live up in these mountains like this. It's just days like this are few, and you got to appreciate them when you have them. So that's what I've done today. My whole thing for the day was just to get out, see the storm damage, see how the river's changed, make a cast or two, and see what I could catch. And that's what we did today. We accomplished that. So I'm going to get on out of here. I appreciate you taking the time to watch the video. If you enjoyed it, hit that thumbs up button. If you really enjoyed it, think about subscribing. Either way, I appreciate you watching if you watched it, and we'll catch you next time. Fishing from Scratch out.
I'm failing.